51-year-old Charles Russ Tierney, former president of the Virginia ACLU and a federal public defender, has been charged by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, ICE, with possessing child pornography. ICE was involved because this is an international investigation, and the images Russ Tierney had on CD-ROM were of pre-pubescent girls being violently raped. Former ACLU president, coach of youth teams. What else can you tell us?
Well, that's a really important part of the investigation right now. One of my law enforcement contacts said to me the reason that they were trying to be aggressive in putting out this story is that based on their investigation so far, it looks like Russ Tierney was coaching kids teams in the Arlington, Virginia area for at least 2 to 3 years, perhaps soccer, perhaps baseball. The big question that they have is whether he made this sort of leap or transition from purchasing child porn on the internet than to perhaps molesting kids. That's the big question mark they've got tonight.
Okay.
I think, yeah, on his background, what we know about him is that he's 51 years old, as you mentioned, a former public defender here in Washington, D.C., a past president of the ACLU. When we reached them late today, they said they just couldn't comment on it. And he's married to a woman called Diane Russ Tierney. She's quite well known here in Washington. She's the executive director of the National Coalition to Abolish the Death Penalty. And what struck me in my conversations with my contacts today is that everybody seems to be tiptoeing around this case. Everyone says it's extremely sensitive. Because I said, how come when you put out the release you didn't indicate what his job is, what his profession is, because that's pretty typical. I said, is it true that he's a past president of the ACLU? Is it true that he was a public defender? And one of my contacts said, look, it's very sensitive, and we know the media can do its job and work these things out for themselves, which is what we did this afternoon.
All right, now, it'll be interesting to see how the media covers this, particularly the liberal media in Washington, whether they give it any exposition at all.
And Texas is working on its own version of immigration reform. Lawmakers there considering a bill that would deny automatic U.S. citizenship to babies born to illegals in their part of the United States.
The Pew Research Center says there are more than 3 million children born in this country who have parents that are illegal immigrants.
These people are committing a crime against the United States at the time they're in the hospital. They violated our sovereignty, and we're giving them citizenship? Once again, I say that's madness.
The ACLU and Maldives say it discriminates against Hispanics and Latinos. They say they will wait until the bill passes to decide if they will sue.
And also, I do think that it offends the American conscience and American history, because since our beginning, there has always been folks who come from all over the world to be a part of this country,